live Facebook. All right. Just preparing the live stream, and then I got to type in the title, and then we'll be very good to go. Okay. Brooks, Agnew, 1028 live. Okay, copy and paste that. Oh, excuse me. All right, let's see how this goes. Nervous every time. Uh-oh, why is that frozen? Wish I had intro music. Here we go. Wait, oh man, is it? Oh, hi. I think we're live. Yes. How you doing? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. This is Dr. Skinner with 1028 Live. It is actually Monday. The crumbs. Should always have this stuff ready. It's Monday the 23rd of September. And yeah, we're doing specials all this week because we got a big event coming up in less than 2 weeks. Oh my gosh. I've been really, really nervous, but everything has been smoothed out thanks to Jessica Stevens and GSD Studios, Darmar Production. Let's go down the list real quick and get this out of the way, shall we? Thanks to my speakers and vendors and my sponsors, Joel Christopher Payne, Rex Bear, Rob and Ben from Edge of Wonder, Natasha Nix from Mysterious Forces Live, Rex Bear from Leak Project, by the way. Big Kid Gamers Lounge in Lakeside, Apollo Asteria, Mike Mahoney Photography, Darmar Production, Laura Eisenhower, David Loomis, Brooke Agnew, Don Phillips, Stacy Wright and Jim Mann, Brad Olson and Emily Infinity, Jim Goodall, Joel and Rael Young from Sweet Peas Infusion Cafe, Renewable by Anderson, Quilla Ryder, Louis Alcantar, Chris Leprath, Sarah Galbraith, John Ferris, Raymond Bell, Whispering Pines Resort, by the way. Check out this. It's got the green screen, so you got the effect there. But official sponsors as well as Honda Casino, where we are having the event in Pine Top, Arizona, October 5th and 6th, 2019. That's right. Saturday and Sunday, open to the public. Get your tickets now before they sell out. VIP tickets are limited, so you want to get those if you want to have the VIP treatment and VIP time with the speakers. And I'm not talking just an autograph. I mean, like hanging out with them for 2 nights. Okay, so totally an opportunity unlike any other. So the people who will be speaking, and I've got schedules, we're going to knock all this stuff out. And then we got our special guest for tonight. I will tell you who that is in just a bit if you don't know already. Okay, so like I said, want to give a special shout out to Whispering Pines tonight. They're one of our, crap, of course, they're going to be one of our main sponsors, but you can check out the cabins. They're gorgeous. Go to their website. It's in beautiful Pine Top, Lakeside, Arizona. Actually, Pine Top, it's after the borderline. But go check them out. You can check them. Where's the website? I had the website there. Whispering Pines AZ. www.whisperingpinesaz.com. Go check them out. Also, you can go check out Honda. By the way, it's spelled HON-DAH, not like the car, just so you know. Then we also want to say thank you to Best Western, the Green Tree Inn. Oh, by the way, we had who was it? We had a new vendor. We got a couple new vendors, but you have to come to the event to find out. I'm just going to leave it at that. So I hope you're all having a great day. I hope you all had a great weekend. I just got back from Hollywood and Santa Monica, where we are at the International Love Film Festival. And I am happy to announce that the movie that I'm in and I helped work on, Turnover, won 3 awards out of 10 nominations. It was awesome. There was many other films there, of course. So can't win them all, but we've been winning them. We've been winning them almost every single time, and usually like best picture or whatnot, best this, best that. It's really really proud of it. So November 1st, we're gonna have the huge red carpet, news reporters, all that stuff, just for that movie. Normally the red carpets have been for the film festivals, so you got to share it with all the other movies. Not that that's not fun and all, you get to meet everybody and network, but this is just for us, so it should be really really cool. November 1st, I will be broadcasting live from that. There wasn't a good signal at the location we were at, so what else? All right, so who do we got speaking? Let me give you the quick schedule, and then we'll move on. Oh, I got paperwork everywhere. So much to do. All right. So, who we got speaking? We've got President Dwight D. Eisenhower's great granddaughter, Laura Eisenhower. She'll be with us. Star Trek actress, model, musician, ufologist, speaker, Paula Asteria. She's going to be here. From the League Project, Rex Bear will be on his show this week. I just don't know which day yet. I got to call him after this and see what's what on that. David Loomis from Shola MUFON. Don Phillips, leading UK's leading paranormal investigator. Our dear friend Brooks Agnew, who you'll be seeing in just a bit. Stacey Wright and Jim Mann from Arizona State MUFON and Phoenix MUFON. Of course, Edge of Wonder boys, I'm sorry, I'm saying this too fast. Ben Chasteen and Rob Counts. They will be here as well with their cameraman, so they're going to be doing interviews. So, hey, who knows? They might interview you. I don't know. Then we got our dear friend Joel Christopher Payne, one of the Disney's top artist. He's going to be here, and that's no exaggeration. The man's a legend. He's the creator of Groms and Friendlians. Worked on Mortal Kombat. He was the computer industry's one of their first live action directors for gaming and stuff. He worked, for Spielberg built the rides at theme parks. Wow, sorry, went off. My bad. Anyway, Suzanne Ross is also going to be there. What an amazing ball of light this woman is. If you're having a bad day, just walk into her presence. She is just amazing. And she is the founder and hostess of SciSpy.tv. If you don't know about it, check it out. It's an amazing network with a ton of shows. A ton, or a plethora. I think you know what I was trying to say. So we'll just say I said it. Okay. So that's going to be, she's going to be here speaking as well. Then we got our dear friend Natasha Nix from Mysterious Forces Live. She'll have her booth. She'll be doing interviews. It's going to be fantastic. And then, of course, Brad Olson from World Stompers, South America, Antarctica. And yes, he's going to be talking about Antarctica because I know all of you want to hear about it because he just got back, I think, this year. And amazing footage, which I'll be I've been so crazy busy. But now that we've got all the logistics basically, I think, out of the way, the only thing that's missing is you. That's right. So get your tickets now. You can go to Big Kid Gamers Lounge in Pinetop Lakeside, and you can purchase them physically there. You can also go to the Lodge Bar and Grill in Pinetop, 857 East White Mountain Boulevard in Pinetop. Wow, I remembered that. And then also, you can get it at Sweet Peas Infusion, which is in Lakeside, right across the street from McDonald's and Safeway, next door to the Ace Hardware. They also have tickets as well. Not only tickets, but VIP tickets that will get you your VIP pass when you get to the event. VIP pass is awesome. Get in an hour early. You get to get some really cool free stuff. And you get to go to the after event party on Saturday night at the Lodge, Legendary Lodge Bar and Grill, as well as Sunday night to the private VIP only fireside chat with the speakers. A lot of fun, a lot of time to intermingle. And just remember, there's going to be other people there, so don't hijack all their time. Ask a few questions and mingle. But it's going to be a lot of fun. A chance of a lifetime for many. So the prices, I've been told by Ben and Rob and everybody I've talked to, are just unbelievably insane how low they are. I did not expect, from what I found out today, that we'd have people flying in from London and Germany and all over from the country, Minnesota, New York, the reports I'm getting from the hotels in town and the cabin rentals, and I'm just like, I was thinking, local, state, and all that. I did not plan worldwide invasion to Pine Top, but that's so cool. So thank you very much, all of you that have made the effort, spent the money, come out. Believe me, I will do my damnedest. Yes, I said damn, but I mean it, to blow you away with, yeah, what we have here. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So, but like I said, um, get your tickets now. All right. You can get them online too. If you can't go to those locations, go to www.disclosurecon.com. There's a big red square right there. Click on that. Boom. You can order your tickets right there on the spot. Children 12 and under are free. All right. So we're also going to be having on Saturday and Sunday morning at 9 a.m. If you ever have had an experience and you feel like you wanted to tell your story, but just, people around you may have not understood, this will be a safe place for you to talk. And it'll be moderated by Kesslin Louise Baird. So it's no cameras, no recorders, just confidentiality. Come in there and share. So that'll be going on. And then Sunday after that, Kesslin's going to be doing another special a presentation with something with a gong. I think, I can't remember. It's some kind. She'll talk about it. Trust me, it's totally worth it. Check it out. It's going to be awesome. And then we go right into the speakers for Sunday. So I think, hold on. I'm dry from all that talking. Okay. One thing I have not done, and we'll do this, and then we're going to go right to our special guest, Brooks Agnew. Where did it go? So I need to pull. If you haven't done so, please share. Please share this page. You're going to really want to, you're going to dig this interview. And let's see. You're going to open this up and mute it. So, okay. Whoop, there we go. Mute. Got it. Now I can see everybody that's on board. Hey, Mike. Hey, Steve. Barb, hi. How'd you get the handle, Doc? Oh, we'll talk about that later, Barb. Jane, just woke up to catch you. Jane, England. Oh, yeah, hi from England. Good evening, guys, over the pond. So happy. There you are. So happy that you're with us. Joe Glover, hey, how's it going? Amy, hi, Amy. O'Brien, flying in from Texas. That you are. She'll be here as well. I love the experience this event. Thank you. It's gonna be interesting. Let's see. O'Brien, Barb, 5 other people. Alfredo's joined. Wow, what a great start. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you a little bit about our guest. If you don't know who he is, I'm gonna bring this over here, bring that over there, go over here, and that's in the way. All right, here we go. So Brooks Agnew is a multi-patented engineer and a 6-time Amazon best-selling author of 9 books, widely featured in numerous scientific documentaries, as well as the latest Godzilla movie, by the way. He's mentioned in that. He is an internationally acclaimed lecturer on energy manufacturing and quality improvement while working with numerous Fortune 100 companies. He has been the host of X Squared Radio for 13 years and currently serves as the CEO of an electric truck manufacturing company in North Carolina. Brooks Agnew will be doing his lecture on remembering the future. And basically he says, what if proven science could show you a way to unlock the bounty of the universe? What if you could be shown the secret of how to remember the future, change the past, and know what to do in the present to make the life of your dreams? This is the chance to learn how to travel through time to make a difference. So don't miss it. Right here at Disclosure Con. Now, I think that's about it. I think you've all waited long enough. Gosh knows I've been like gabbing long enough. So let me minimize this. Go to, where did I go? I lost it. Hold on. Nope, that's not the right one. Where are you? Hold on. Oh, I moved you over here. Sorry, 3 screens. Okay, so we got our talking chat up here and everything is good. I'm all settled. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to let him hit the magic button. May I present to you my dear friend, Brooks Agnew.
And we're live.
That's right. Great. Sorry, that was got long-winded. I apologize, but it's like so much information, so much is happening. I didn't even tell everything that's going on. I didn't even talk about California. Anyway, how are you?
Doing pretty well. Just got back from 10 days in the UK.
Ah, all right, you're gonna have to tell the story now.
Yeah,
Tell
I have to
us
tell you a story.
what
Well,
what were you doing in the UK?
it was I was doing two speaking events that were small, and then I was interviewing people in the UK about Brexit and about what's going on in their local government, local politics, and how that relates to world government and politics. And it was very interesting.
Okay, was there? Sorry, I'm just readjusting this so I don't have to do this. I'm looking right here.
Well,
So what parts of the UK did you get to
I went
traverse?
I went to London first and kind of acclimated for a day and a half. That was where the first presentation was at. A few people showed up, didn't move a lot of merchandise, but got to know basically the land. Also met with Sasha Stone, who is the founding officer for an organization called the International Tribunal for Natural Justice. And they are dedicated toward an international effort to freeing all kids that are being trafficked. And
Fantastic.
the effort is huge, and he has the alignment and the support of all the sultans and princes from Asia and Bali. He has a home in Bali. He showed me all the photographs and that event that they had down there. It is fantastic. Countries all over the world are having their young people abducted and funneled into this human trafficking organization, which is an international cabal that's been operating literally for thousands of years. And this organization is dedicated to breaking that completely. And I'm very impressed with Sasha Stone. I've known him for a number of years. He owns an organization called Humanitad, which works on living conditions for third world countries. He really does a great work.
Wow, I would love to talk to this person.
He
Uh,
is an amazing statesman. He used to be a very famous rocker in the UK, made a lot of money, sold a lot of albums, and he uses his
oh,
money and his
that's
estate.
crazy. Someone just put here. Check out Sasha Stone's interviews. Dude is a rock star. I thought they just meant in the human trafficking, but he was actually a rock star.
He's a real rock star.
Okay,
Absolutely.
wow.
Yeah. So
I
we spent the evening with him and had a great interview and just fantastic crew. Like I said, I've known him for about 4 years now, and he just does he's tireless, absolutely tireless in this effort, and it's come a long way. So then we left London, and by the way, I did the UK by car. So we rented a car in London and then drove this 2,000-mile route, which I will describe to you now. It's quite incredible. Traffic in London is a little like traffic in LA without the meds. And it's all on the left-hand side.
wow.
So you think, you get out of London and you're going to get out of traffic. I'm heading for Edinburgh up in Scotland, which is supposed to be an 8-hour drive. It took 10 hours because the traffic was bad all the way. And yes, they have traffic accidents on their motorways, just like we do here. It takes them just as long to clear them as well. So we get up to Edinburgh, spend the night there, and then head west across the country to my old hometown of Stranraer, which is on the very west coast of Scotland. That's where the Agnew clan comes from in Scotland. And then we went to take the ferry to cross the Irish Sea to Belfast. But the ferry coming in couldn't leave Belfast because it had mechanical problems. So we sat in line for another 3.5 hours and waited for the next ferry. Well, because it was their mess up, they gave us half off of the next ferry, which we had to take a couple days later. Kind of fortuitous the way that worked out. It was kind of cool. So
Yeah.
we crossed the Irish Sea to Belfast, and this is Northern Ireland now. Had a presentation there, placed some books, and the remarkable thing about this trip is each time I would interview these people and ask them, what do you think of American politics? What do you think of American government? Everybody said they just love Donald Trump. They think he's the hero of the world. It's crazy to hear it on the ground, face to face, and they bring it up.
Wow.
But so then we left Belfast. We stayed in a mid 19th century hotel. Went south to Dublin and spent a couple days in a small part of Dublin called Donabate, which is right on the coast, right on the Irish Sea. And talk about a place frozen in time. This place is so serene. It's like if you ever decided to ghost yourself, this is the place you would ghost yourself. You could just disappear. But the interesting thing is, as you go south out of Belfast, everything's in miles. Everybody uses British pounds. You get to the toll bridge. The toll is in euros. And once you cross the bridge, everything's metric. Everything's in kilometers.
Wow.
So I had to access YouTube and figure out how to change the speedometer to metric on the Audi that I was driving. So made it to Donabate. First thing we did is go to a bar to interview the bartenders because bartenders know everything. And the first thing out of the guy's mouth was, of course, you're Americans, blah, blah, blah. And the first thing out of his mouth is how great Donald Trump is. And went to pay for the beers. And he said, well, I hope you have your Monopoly money. That's what they call euros, Monopoly money. They don't like it. The difference between Northern Ireland and Southern Ireland is in Northern Ireland, the streets were busy. Cars parked down both sides of the road. Every store is open, people on the sidewalks, everything is hustling and bustling and moving. They want to leave the EU. They want to be independent. They want to be independent Ireland, independent from Brussels. Southern Ireland, totally different. Streets are pretty much abandoned, lots of iron gates down over closed shops, poor street lighting. You could obviously tell the restaurants were half full. Obviously tell the economy was not moving in Southern Ireland like it was Northern Ireland, and they want to remain. They want to remain with the EU. So this is the schism that's occurring in Ireland. Crossing back over the Irish Sea on that discounted ferry I told you about, which was a very awesome trip, went to drive to Cardiff, Wales. So I did all 4 countries: England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, Southern Ireland, Wales. Really, really tremendous trip. On the way to Cardiff, it's 2 lanes from where the ferry drops us off to actually get to a motorway. And we're so tired. It's 2-lane roads, roundabouts every 2 miles. We get tired, we get hungry, so we stop at a restaurant to eat. 17-year-old waitress waiting on us. She immediately detects that we're American and says, oh, you're from America. Yes. Well, I get to go to America for the first time with my dad in a couple of weeks, and I'm so excited. And we said, well, why and how did it happen and all this? Well, my dad is a forklift battery salesman, and he has a meeting in St. Louis, and I get to go with him. I thought, wow, that's really, really cool. And she was really excited about it. So after the waitress left, I said to my traveling companion, Terry, I said, you realize that, who makes forklift batteries? Who sells all the forklift batteries pretty much in the whole world? She said, no, who? I said, China. China makes all the forklift batteries. So ask yourself, why would a forklift battery company in Wales be meeting in St. Louis for a sales meeting? One word.
Okay.
Tariffs. The Chinese batteries have become expensive enough so that battery companies in Wales can now compete on the global market because China is no longer dumping, inferior products on the global market at low prices. So in other words, this 17-year-old gets to go to America because of Donald Trump. I thought it was a pretty cool connection.
Cool.
We finally make it to Cardiff. We check into this mid-19th century hotel, which was actually an orphanage, like Peter Pan orphanage. Very cool old building. And the night manager is Italian. So I have my hat on. I throw my best Scottish accent on, and he says, "Oh, you're from America." Yes. It didn't fool him at all. He said, "Oh, so let me ask you a question. Do you like Donald Trump?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Oh, we do too. We love Donald Trump." So he goes on and on about this. So we checked in. Everything was cool. Next morning, we go to breakfast. There's another Italian manager, the day shift guy. And we were all positive. We're looking forward to the day. So we said, "Hey, the weather's really great." He said, "Yes, but it's not going to hold. Climate change is sweeping the world, and it's going to plunge us into a terrible winter, and climate change is just ruining the world." I said, "Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. You know, the same thing's happening on Mars and Saturn?"
Mhm.
And he just got the strangest look on his face, like the sugar cube of narrative was melting in his brain. And so then we took off from there and headed back to London, and that was our 2,000-mile trip. Very interesting news that you do not hear from the mainstream media here in this country. Very interesting.
Wow. Wow. Well, I definitely want to go Scotland and Ireland, all those
Oh, you
places.
got to go by car. That's the only way to do it. Fight
Yeah.
the left-handed traffic and just see everything.
Yeah. I totally. Yeah. Just it's so green over there, and
It really is, except for Wales. Wales is pretty rocky and kind of most of it is treeless until you get actually into the city area where things are preserved.
mhm.
You could definitely tell a difference between the geographies.
Excellent. I'm going to take these off. I thought this would help me, but these aren't my computer. These are my driving glasses. So, all right. So, what?
We're not driving.
Yeah, I just realized I put the wrong ones on. So you did that, and then you've been doing conventions. You did
Yes.
Disclosure Con, and you're working on a project with your book series. Now, let's sell a book tonight.
Okay.
Tell them about birth and what your hopes are in the future.
Sure. Well, in 2011, I got an idea for an action adventure story. It sort of takes place, everything kind of goes cataclysmic with respect to the economy. And what it does, it reveals this supernatural force that exists on the earth that is working with uh, some of the worst criminal gangs on the planet to try to give them unnatural power. And we don't have a superhero to fight them or anything like that. So it turned into kind of a true crime action adventure thriller. And I wrote a screenplay for it in 2011. Well, I don't know anything about selling a screenplay. So it sat there. It didn't do anything. Didn't go anywhere. I wrote a couple more books since then. Then in 2015, some events, national events started to happen that kicked in something in my memory that said, wait a minute, I think that's in the screenplay. So I opened up the screenplay, I reread it, and I went, oh my gosh, what I wrote in the screenplay is actually starting to happen. So, and I know how long it takes to get a movie from script to screen. It's like 5 years. Well, I didn't want the moment to pass. So I took the screenplay and I turned it into a book, which was called Birth, Birth of a New Earth, kind of a play on words there. And it was subtitled Two Earths, One Race for Time. And I thought, gee, that was a wild ride. I mean, it was like grab the wheel and hold on for 236 pages. And I thought, well, in a year, maybe I'll write, the next part to that. But that's not what happened. That book woke me up in the middle of the night, and I started writing volume 2. About 7 months later, volume 2 was done, published, and it went to be a bestseller. And the next night, volume 3 began. And so in 18 months, I wrote this trilogy, 1,100 pages, an absolute screaming series of big screen movies, but in print. They all sold very well. The audience was great. And they came to me as fans and said, you got to write a sequel to these books. Well, I couldn't do it. The ending was just too good. It was just one of those endings that was done. So I wrote a prequel, which is called Charm of Favor. And that's sort of what happens before these 3 books happen. But the good news is that the 3 books were so popular and the fan base was so enthusiastic about it that I decided to not go for the big screen, but go for the small screen. I'm going to go for TV, for smartphones, for iPads, like that. That's what we're writing these screenplays for. And so now we've got excitement. We've won 2 screenplay contests. We've made a really good trailer that is out there smoking hot on YouTube, and you helped with it. And the editing is fantastic. Everybody comments on that. Even the Carolina film community entered into a trailer contest with other film trailers, and it was not even close. There wasn't even anything competitive with it. The other stuff was like home movies compared to this thing. It was really, really a cut above. And so now we're starting to gain some excitement about turning the 3 volumes of the Birth Trilogy into 3 seasons of 14 episodes each, 42 episodes. It should be amazing.
Oh yeah, and it's exciting. Tell people where they can go and purchase it, as well as people that may, like me, don't have a lot of time to read.
Sure.
Talk about that as well. I mean, like I said, we're going to sell a book tonight.
There are a couple of forms of the book that you can read. One is, of course, paperback, which you can get the books at Amazon or Barnes and Noble. And the other is Kindle or Nook. So if you read with an electronic device or you read the old-fashioned way with a book in your hands, it's available. Now, if you're not a great reader, don't worry about it because I read it for you. The books are also available in audio. Now, you can spend, if you want to, $18.95 a piece at Audible, or you can go to my website, brooksagnew.com, and you can buy the entire series for $14.95. And I read every chapter to you.
Wow.
So you can ride down the road. You can listen to it on your phone. You can listen to it while you're working on your favorite project or your spreadsheets or your blueprints, whatever it is you do when you do what you do. And I will read you the books and you can experience it that way.
Great for road trips too. And it's action packed. Can I compare you to other authors? Is that okay?
Sure.
All right. You got some Mission Impossible in there. You got some Tom Clancy in there. You got some 2012 and the day after. I mean, and then you've got the politics thrown in there too. Here's the thing I love about for me, it was listening to the books. Is one, you're an amazing storyteller. Sometimes you'll just be like, fall asleep to listening to narration, but you keep it riveting. 2, like Tom Clancy, your technical descriptions and point of view in the story is so elaborate, or as technical, or is that the word?
Well, so I have some people come to me like that. If you like cars, like really fast cars with turbochargers and cams and all that stuff, there's a lot of car details in there because there's a lot of car racing in the series. Some people would write to me and say, oh, wow, I love all the detail you put in there about the turbochargers and nitrous and all that stuff. And other people write me and say, I really don't like all the car detail. You could probably leave that out. So you probably know you're in the right place. But there's a lot of airplane detail. There's spacecraft details. There's military installation details that you never heard before. Plus, the remarkable thing, the style that these books are written in, is they bring history that you thought you knew, like World War II history or Civil War history or Revolutionary War history. It puts it in the book, and it puts it in the book with you on the ground with my fictional characters so you can actually experience that history yourself.
Yeah, it's, totally riveting. I just laid and I just listened. I just all the way through. It took a whole day, which is very rare for me, but I was able to do it. And yeah, you guys definitely want to check it out, especially for that price. And to read it or listen to it, you'll have a better idea when the movie comes out because, or not the movie, but the series. That's going to be really exciting. Lots of things have been put in motion for that. So,
People read books or they listen to books and you get, this level of exposure. But when people can see it with good actors playing those parts, it goes off the scale. You get 10 times, 100 times the audience. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, probably 40 million people read those books, but way more people than that learned what Middle Earth was after the movies came out.
right.
That's how you really reach people. That's how you touch people. The music score, the art that actor brings to those lines to bring out that message. And these are deep spiritual concepts that are in these books. It is definitely good versus evil, but it isn't fantasy. It's everything in the books is real. It was right out of the news, right out of history. Everything in the book is true, except of course for the planet splitting in two. I hope.
All right. Well, cool. Let me do some quick hellos. And then I want to go into a little elevator pitch of what you'll be discussing at Disclosure Con.
Okay.
So let me catch up here. Mike asked me to do a little dance, but I'm already sitting, so I'll do it. I'll do it tomorrow night. I'll do it. I'll be like Ellen every night. I'll come in and shake my booty. The fact that people are saying they woke up for this show over in England is just awesome. Jane, you're amazing. O'Brien loves the experience. Okay, I read all that. Alfredo joined. Bessie joined. Philip, Christina, Samantha, Elizabeth, Brian, Brandon, Billy, Dat, Weston. Hey, Weston. Ruben, Melinda, Kesslin, Chris, Jay, Tammy, Sarah, David, Mark, and Eva. And let's see. A lot of people are talking about Sasha. I'm surprised. I mean, I recognize the name, but I guess there's just so many people out there I'm trying to research all the time. So I'm definitely going to look into Sasha's background. Actually, I just got sent a video, so that made it pretty easy. Thank you, Mike. All right. So anyway, those are all the how do you do's tonight. Now, a little taste of what's to come on October 6th, because you'll be ending out the event. You know that, right?
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm so glad to be batting cleanup.
Oh yeah, no, you're gonna be the grand finale, and then for all the VIPs, and then we'll do the fireside chat after that. So
Nice.
yeah, so it's gonna be awesome. All right, let's hear what you got coming up.
Well, Remembering the Future is a title I came up with in the year 2007. I had relearned how to meditate the previous year. I had dabbled in transcendental meditation and other types of meditation. In 2006, I learned the Flower of Life meditation. It really opened up the world to me. It opened up my ability to observe things. In 2007, I decided to experiment with maybe not observing just the present, but try to observe other time periods as well. So I ventured to look at what the world was going to be like in the year 2015, which at that time was 8 years in the future. So let's just say I opened up my eyes and I was in the year 2015 and I took a look around. And the truth is, we didn't make it. The weather was screwed up. The economy had collapsed. The presidency itself had totally collapsed. Now, remember, this is pre-crash. This is George W. Bush still president. Everything is stable. Everything is, pretty much moving right along. There's no real worries about anything going, no big wars going on or anything. But 2015, everything was chaos. It was snowing on top of snow in the Snoqualmie Pass from the year before. That's how screwed up everything was. So I came back to open my eyes in the year 2007. And I was so moved by it. I said, what should I do? How do I alert everybody? And the idea for the book, Remembering the Future, came to me. So I subtitled it The Physics of the Soul and Time Travel. It's a short book as far as books go, but it is very concentrated. People tell me they read 2 or 3 pages and then think for a day or two, and then read 2 or 3 pages and think for a day or two. Yes, there is mathematics in it, but it's not overwhelming. I do explain the concepts of the mathematics. Here's what it's based on. What I learned to do is to use the energy that a human soul can output as an input to a mathematical algorithm. Don't worry about it. I do all the math for you. You don't have to take the test or anything like that at the end. But what I prove to you is that resonance theory applies when it comes to human intention. Now, you're familiar with the book called The Secret, right?
Yes.
Rhonda Byrne wrote this book, and she
Power.
couldn't sell it.
Yeah.
She was a single mom in Australia. She writes this book. She couldn't sell it. She found an investor to buy 100,000 copies of the book, which they did at a discount. She made a little bit of money. They sent the copies to realtors in the US, Century 21, Remax, all these realtors. And the realtors gave them out to their salesmen to try to make them better salesmen, to try to get them to see how to focus on, achieving their goals.
Like Rich Man, Poor Man.
Yeah, but it was kind of based on the idea that, okay, let's say you want this certain house or you want a certain car. You find the magazine that has the pictures of that house or that car in it and cut them out with a pair of scissors. You grab your scissors and you go after your magazine and you cut the pictures out and you stick it on your refrigerator with magnets. I can relate to that. I once wanted to be a refrigerator magnate. But every time you go to the fridge to get food or get a drink, you see that house, you see that motorcycle, and you focus on it for that brief moment before, reaching for that chocolate milk. Of course, you do gain weight from doing this. I'm kidding. The point is that you're constantly focusing on that thing. Well, the realtors evidently were having some success and they really liked the book. So they began sending copies of the book to Oprah Winfrey. Well, after Oprah Winfrey received 6 copies of the book, she said, all right, I'll interview her. So she brings Rhonda Byrne on her program. She talks about the book, and the rest is publishing history. The Secret became a huge success. They made a movie about it. They made a documentary about it. What the Bleep Do We Know was published about that. One of my friends, Michal Ledwith, was in it, and Fred Allen Wolf. They were all in this movie, and everything was super famous. The trouble is, when people followed those principles, nothing happened. And I thought, how could that be? How could this book be so successful and teach these really true principles, and yet nothing happened? And the point is that they didn't finish. What they missed was, you're going out in the future, because this is a future event that you're trying to make happen with your intention.
Yeah.
You're banging that bell in the future with a hammer, and it's making a sound. But every time you go to that fridge, you bang the bell again and again and again. It's making a sound. It's sending a vibration out in 360 degrees in all directions throughout all time and eternity. What they missed was the sympathetic resonation. You've played music. You know, when you stand an acoustic guitar in the corner outside of its case, and then you decide to play your stereo really loud, I'm going to play Led Zeppelin, I'm going to play REM, I'm going to play something. Somewhere in that music, one of the notes of that music sounds like it just plucks that string. Bring! It just rings out. And you go, wow, that's weird. That's like a ghost in the machine. No. In reality, what happened is that string that guitar string is so perfectly tuned to that sound that it absorbs energy out of the music and then resonates its own sound.
Wow.
In science, we call that absorption. In fact, we call it an absorbance peak. We actually can measure the energy that's sucked out of the room by that guitar string. That's how resonance works. So when you put a thought, an energy pulse into the future of a house or a car or a job or someone you want to love, someplace you want to visit, listen back in the past, which is your present, for things that are vibrating to that sound. Listen for the guitar strings that are resonating that sound out, and then go put energy back in those things. That email, that return phone call, that word, my name I heard in Godzilla. There was no Dr. Brooks in the movie Godzilla. There was no character. Never was there a character, Dr. Brooks. When he said, Dr. Brooks was right, the earth is hollow, I knew exactly what he was saying.
Yeah. Oh,
that was resonance for me. And I called you and you said, holy crap. And what did you do?
I mean, do you want to mention it yet? Or do you want to? Yeah. Do we?
Well, we can save it, but the point is that you took action, I took action, all based upon that one word in that one movie. And the only reason I even watched the movie is because somebody posted to me on my Twitter, oh my gosh, you're in Godzilla. I said, what are you talking about? He sent me the line. In fact, he sent me the clip out of the movie. That is what I mean. I put a vision out in the future of making the Birth Trilogy into a movie. It has in it principles about the hollow earth. He sees a movie, knows me, sends that to me. That's how the resonance works.
Yeah,
I put energy back into those things, and that energy will then go back to the future, and it will begin to solidify the hologram of the thing that you want to manifest.
Wow. Now looking at it that way, it's like a domino effect.
But you don't want to run around like a chicken with your head cut off doing all things. You have to do the right things at the right time. And the only way to know that is to know the physics of what's going on. Now, I'll tell you where the mathematical base for this comes from. You know what the Fibonacci sequence is, right?
Yes. Don't ask me to recite it though, but I know what it is.
What the bleep do we know uses it? You basically start with 0 and you add 1 to it. 1 plus 0 is 1, right? Then you take the second number and add it to the first to get the third. So 1 plus 1 is
2.
And then 1 plus 2 is
3.
And then 2 plus 3 is 5. Well, you continue that sequence out for 12 iterations from 0. And then you can divide the 11th number into the 12th number and you get 1.618 to 1. Why is that significant? Because that is phi. That is the golden mean. That is the ratio of increase in nature. Bacteria works that way. Atomic numbers work that way. Planets work that way. Energy works that way. Everything works that way. Where I made the breakthrough is I was teaching a class in college algebra at Gaston College. And I was teaching it at night, and thus I had some adults in my class. And the section on Fibonacci, who was an Italian mathematician, came up, and I was going to teach that section. But I thought, if I teach this, they're going to memorize it. They're going to take the few questions on the test, and then they're never going to think about it ever again. And it's such an important principle. So I'm sitting there playing with my calculator, and I'm going, how can I really make them think about this Fibonacci sequence and, incorporate it into their everyday lives? So I said, what happens if we take 2 random numbers that are not on this number line at all? Let's take 75 and 216. One's odd, one's even. They don't know each other. They're not divisible by each other. And let's add them together. When you add them together, you get 291. Well, okay. Now we have three numbers. We can take the second, add it to the third, and we can continue our sequence.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what happens when you get to the eighth iteration?
What?
You can divide the seventh number into the eighth number, and you get 1.618 to 1. I thought, wow, that was lucky. I bet you can't do that again. But I did. It didn't matter what number I chose. It didn't matter if it was a decimal, a fraction, an imaginary number, an irrational number, even functions. Once you start adding them together, 8 iterations, boom, you're on the golden mean again. And I said, in order for that to be true, and I believe that it is, it will work with anything, including energy, including human intention. So it's not so much just going out and hitting the bell or just going out and hitting that resonance from the bell. You have to do it 8 times. 8 steps, it will lead you forward. And once you get to the 8th iteration, you're on the golden mean, and your dream has no choice but to manifest.
I'm sorry, I'm just writing down this info. I'm going to play with this later. Let me ask you real quick. In Stargate, how many chevrons are there?
Well, there are 6.
Oh, there's only 6?
And then the 7th. The 6th give you the location, X, Y, and then a Z direction, and then the 7th is time.
What about your starting point? Aren't you supposed to have a starting point?
I hadn't thought about that. That makes 8.
Whoa! Sorry. I've been around people with numerology the past few days, so every time I see a number, I'm like, what? What does it mean? What does it mean? So,
well, the point is that now we have what I call the Phoenix process. We are able to take what ordinarily would be chaos, which is kind of like your life and mine.
Yeah.
Ordinary chaos, and we are able to force order out of it with our own will, with our own consciousness. This is the process of creation. This is how we are co-creators of this universe. You know, we did a thought experiment one time, and we thought about thought experiments. We kind of put ourselves in a special situation which you ordinarily can't be in. Like Einstein used to say, let's say you are in an elevator and you are traveling at the speed of light. Well, there's no elevators, but these are thought experiments. So let's say that you're in a spaceship that is a photon. A photon is a particle of light that acts like a wave that, say, leaves a star and heads out into space. Now, I was talking this over with a friend of mine whose name is Dr. Ed Close. He wrote a wonderful book called Transcendental Physics. And we've been talking for a couple of hours, and he was trying to make the case, as I said, look, when I go outside and I look at the star Arcturus out there, and I say, I'm so fascinated by this because that photon of light had to leave that star and travel 8.5 light years to reach the rods and cones in my eye so I could behold Arcturus. And he said, well, that's your perspective. I said, what do you mean that's my perspective? He said, well, if you were the photon and you left the star Arcturus headed for Earth, there's no path from Arcturus to Earth. It's as though the pitcher on the pitching mound took the ball and threw it to home plate, but there was no path for the ball. As soon as it left the pitcher's hands, it was instantaneously in the catcher's glove. I mean, that's what happens when I play baseball, but that's the concept he was trying to make. So I said,
so there was no in between. It's like boom, boom.
Yeah,
Okay.
For the photon. For us, but I said, so what you're really telling me, Ed, is that the Big Bang never happened. That distance across the universe, which we measure in terms of time, light years, distance is actually 0. The whole universe is still the singularity. Everything's local. The Big Bang never happened. It's only our consciousness that slowed the universe down so we can perceive distance.
Kind of like some insects or a sloth, for example, their perspective, or a turtle. They move really, really slow, but maybe to them they're moving decent speed.
Yeah.
Comparison, because it's a perspective. Um, that's wild. I love it when you come on because you blow my mind.
Well, it's not just a perspective, because if you think about it, we are the only creatures on this planet that can perceive time. I
Really.
mean, if you don't believe me, go try to teach your cat about tomorrow. They're never going to get it. We're the
True.
only beings on earth that can perceive time. And when we talk about the observation effect, this is where it really gets important, because the universe, the entire universe, is actually the mathematical average of the intention of all the sentient beings in it. So
Wow.
if there were, say, 5 trillion sentient beings in this universe, there's probably more than that, but that makes a very large population, which makes the reality very stable. So when we think about a bell curve of all the sentient beings in it, we have extreme realities over here, and we have extreme realities over here, and we have average reality in the middle. Like, for instance, this keyboard that I have. Well, that I can perceive, you could perceive, I could mail it to you and you could perceive it.
Yeah.
Because it is a construct of the average reality. But there are things that you perceive that nobody else perceives. There are dreams that you have, perspectives that you have that nobody else has, because you are the original, absolutely perfect Doc Skinner. There ain't no other Doc Skinners. You're perfect, absolutely flawless, just the way you are. And if you were removed from this universe, the entire thing would collapse and have to start over.
Wow. Okay.
So
How does one keep their ego in check after that comment?
we always battle with the ego, don't we? But the ego really is just the driver. It's just the rider of the
Yeah.
horse. The superego is the conscience, of the rider, so the rider doesn't go crazy. But the horse by itself, it's just the id. It's just the raw human animal energy. So the ego is really what controls the horse. What we try to do is keep that ego in check so that we can interact with other humans without chewing them up and spitting them out. And we try not to be too narcissistic about our lives. But the point is that we become individual creators in this average reality. Now, if you bring a very powerful soul into a population, you can maybe shift that reality just a little bit. If you bring a Jesus or a Moses or a Buddha or someone in there, you can move the average reality a little bit. But all in all, there aren't too many really great souls. The better thing to do is to try to convince a few million or 100 million or a few billion souls to change their mind, and then you can move the average reality significantly. Earth, in the birth series, we consider Earth to be a living thing.
Mm-hmm.
It does sort of display some very strange properties, which kind of align with living things. It respirates, it tends towards stasis, it protects itself against toxins, it spontaneously gives forth life. Earth is a pretty freaking amazing planet.
Yeah.
It does meet basic requirements for what we call life. We further believe that this living thing, Earth, has a symbiotic relationship with the other sentient beings on it, which is us. And in times past, when the more part of the people choose wickedness, the planet Earth has a kind of allergic reaction, and it rises up and spanks the human race with a tidal wave or a volcano or a earthquake or a forest fire or some flood of some kind, and it whacks human race down to basics, and it starts over again. But now, oh, by the way, and when we're good to one another and we have this great loving energy, then the earth pours forth its bounty and mankind begins to prosper again. But now there's 7.5 billion of us on this planet, and about half of us are wicked and about half of us are good. And the planet, the living planet, can't decide whether to wipe us out or whether to release its bounty to us. And so in the birth trilogy, it's based on an ancient principle that the earth is actually going to split. It's actually going to come apart into two separate earths, one higher energy, one lower energy, and mankind is going to split with it. Higher vibrational man, lower vibrational man. And somewhere in the books, the two worlds go to war with one another. So it is big screen, big concept, lots of unsolvable problems, which are really the key to making a really gripping long-term series.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's going to be awesome. And I can't wait to get started on it.
Me neither.
Yeah.
So if you're listening out there and you have contact to the TV industry, because between me and them, there's about 25,000 other screenwriters. I need to move ahead of them.
Yeah. You need an e-pass.
We need a VIP pass.
Right. Well, I wanted you to cover one more thing, as well as your contact, your websites. Oh, actually, two more things. I would like to hear a little bit about the electric truck. I know about it, but a lot of people out there that are watching don't know that you were dabbling in it long ago. And then I want you to let people know about X Square Radio and your shows.
Sure.
Okay. Cool.
Well, electric vehicles have risen and fallen. Back in the year 1906, approximately 70% of the motor vehicles in the major cities were electric. Cars, trucks, trains, buses, they were all electric. And that was so up until the year 1911. In 1912, there was an invention that changed all that. Because this isn't meant to be sexist or anything, but women did not drive gasoline-powered vehicles in the early 1900s because they were hand-cranked. And to hand-crank a gasoline-powered vehicle, now we're not talking about no-knock gasoline either. We're talking about, full leaded, ready-to-go gasoline, no additives.
Mm-hmm.
You had to play with the spark advance, which was a wire that stuck out of the grill. You had to retard the spark a little bit, and you had to bring that crank around like kickstarting a Harley Davidson.
Wow.
And you had to kick it with your arm. And then once the motor started going, then you advanced the spark until the motor warmed up and smoothed out a little bit. It was smelly, it was oily, and it was dangerous. Because if that thing pre-ignited, it would kick back against your arm and break it. And a lot of people got broken arms from that. Not just women, but men too. So women didn't drive them. They drove electrics because they were quiet and they were clean. They used to call them hummingbirds. And they were enclosed. They were really nice. The Waverly could carry 5 passengers. Had about a 40-mile range, could go up to 15 miles an hour. And Mom could dress in her best dress with her bonnet, and she could take her 4 kids and go shopping at Macy's and drive home and never make a sound. They love electric vehicles. But in 1912, the electric starter was invented, and that allowed women to then drive gas-powered vehicles. And within a few short years, the electric trucks, electric cars, and buses and trains all disappeared, and everything went to diesel or gasoline. Then in 1995, the government decided to have a contest. Hey, let's see who can make a great electric vehicle. So we built one. It did okay. And then in 2008, gasoline prices went through the freaking roof. So my buddies in Detroit called up and say, hey, you remember those electric vehicles you used to dabble with? You might consider building one. So I did. I converted a Chevy Geo into an electric vehicle. It looked really cool. Took it on a 4-state tour. Everybody liked it, except the back seat was full of batteries.
Mm-mm.
And I called up Detroit. I said, "So here it is. It's 19. I mean, it's 2009. What does the industry look like in, say, 2011?" And they said, "Well, there's probably going to be a couple of electric cars on the road by then, but no electric trucks. So you might consider building an electric pickup truck." So we tore the car apart, beefed up the system a little bit, changed the style of batteries, got a bigger controller, and we built the first truck in 2009. Took it on a 5-state tour all the way out here to Kentucky and blew the market away. They loved the truck, but it was a little too small. It was only 8-foot wheelbase.
Mm.
I redesigned the truck in 2014 with a 10-foot wheelbase, which is a little bit smaller than an extended cab Ford Ranger. And of course, 2011 was the year that the Ford Ranger went out of production and there were no more small trucks being sold in America.
Mm.
So I was in a market all by myself with a 10-foot wheelbase truck that was electric. 0 to 60 in 7 seconds. It could carry 1,000 pounds, which is twice the payload of a Ford Ranger. And it cost about 50 grand before any of the rebates, which is about half what a Tesla was costing at that time. So piece by piece, we put together the prototypes, we put together the plant, the factory, and everything was ready to go for production in late 2016. And the Department of Transportation decided to close our airbag supplier. And that ended our production in 2016. But now we're getting very close to putting the pieces back in place to restart the airbag contract. And so it's quite possible that in 2020, 2021, we're going to have our electric truck back into production. Very cool news.
That's
And the
awesome.
website is ev-fleet.com, like electric vehicle fleet.com. Go there, check it out. You can order one. You can put all your information in there and find out more about us. My personal website is brooksagnew.com. All my poetry, my writing, my upcoming events, everything is linked to brooksagnew.com. And every Sunday night from 8 to 11 Eastern Time, X Squared Radio has been live now for 15 years from 8 to 11 on Sunday nights. It is the #1 talk radio program on Sunday nights. We begin the news week on Sunday nights.
Okay, well, I have to correct the bio. I had it for 13 years. My apologies. I'll get that corrected. Dude, that is awesome. Now, real quick, while we've been talking, I got to say hello to a few people. We don't want to think
Okay.
we forgot about them. We got Jay, we got Tammy, Sarah, David, Mark, Eva, Richard, Deborah, Joe, Michael, Timothy, Deborah, another Deborah, Paris, Isabel, Mike, Charity, Jeremy, Sharon, Brandon, and Tammy. All of them have joined, and all of them are just saying, sounds amazing. Another awesome interview. A lot of hellos, people saying correct. They were agreeing with you. One says yes. Let's see. Residence produces little effect. Very good. They're just agreeing with you. This is awesome. And you got an aloha. So somebody from Hawaii, Richard Pedro from Hawaii. And then people talking about Sasha, they said was at DOD, Dimensions of Disclosure, and blew everybody's socks off. So we might have to have him come on next year or come to the event.
Yeah,
I got a lot of people now that want to come work.
amazing guy. Fantastically well spoken. He's probably one of the best statesmen I've ever met in my life.
Wow. Wow. Well, definitely help me get in contact. That would be awesome to speak with him.
Yeah, no problem.
Let's see. Anybody else just jump on? No. Everybody's just been just sitting here just listening. That's awesome.
You should
So
come to Disclosure Con because Remembering the Future Live is a total immersion experience. It's
oh
life
yes.
changing.
Yes. And he'll be finishing out the event, so you want to be sure to get that. And then if you get your VIP pass, then you can meet and greet with him afterwards at either the legendary Lodge Bar and Grill for our VIP after party Saturday night, or at the Fireside VIP chat on Sunday. So go to disclosurecon.com or go to the Lodge Bar and Grill in Pine Top, Big Kid Gamers Lounge in Pine Top, or Sweet Peas Infusion Cafe in Pine Top, and you can get your tickets there. All right.
Come on. It's a 90-minute drive out of Phoenix. You're going to love it.
Wait. Did you say 90-minute?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, boy.
Is it longer than that?
3 hours.
3 hours?
Yeah, but it's a beautiful drive.
What do
You're
I
going to
know?
see so much. And when you drive up, I want you to imagine yourself that you're an ant. And then look at all the plateaus, and you're going to see them as tree stumps that were cut down by the Anunnaki. It's quite wild. It's a great drive. So yeah, you get nice desert up until Payson, and then from Payson up, it's just beautiful mountain country. So it's a great drive. All right. So, and now everybody else is jumping on. Great interview, very intriguing. Charity says, and Mike. So another amazing interview. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Brooks.
My pleasure. Thanks for having
So
me on.
yeah, and what else? Yeah, yeah. So if you want to meet him yourself, get up to Disclosure Con. I think that's about it. I think I can only shamelessly plug it so much. So all right, well, cool. I just wish it. I mean, it's less than 2 weeks away. I'm nervous wreck, but it's all going to be
Oh,
great.
you got this all-star cast, man. You got Laura Eisenhower, you got Brad Olson, you got me, you got the Friendlians guy. I mean, this is going to be an amazing event.
Oh yeah, did I tell you we got? He's not going to be speaking because the speaking schedule's full for this year, but he's definitely going to be speaking next year. We've got SR-71 designer and Area 51 employee Jim Goodall is going to be joining us. He'll
Nice.
be there. So if you want to chit chat with him, delightful man.
I want to
Uh,
ride in the SR-71.
oh yeah, I see the photos he sent me for the press releases and stuff. I'm like, oh, jealous. But he's got some actual photos that he took from Freedom Rock with Air 51, and he's got it all labeled with arrows. Okay, this is what this is. This is what that is. Very interesting guy. Interesting guy. Well, real quick, what did you think about Area 51 this past weekend? The raid.
Only thing I heard about it is only 23 people showed up. So they refunded a bunch of people their money.
Wow. Yeah, I haven't seen really anything on it except for the one guy who'd probably be famous for doing the weird running thing when he's leaning forward, and he ran past a news reporter and they go, well, that's the first one. So, but yeah, I think after they got to the guy that started it, he made the big announcement, says, I'm not going to be associated with anybody. We're not going to do it. Some people are going to get hurt, blah, 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 blah. And everybody took it to heart. So what?
Probably a smart decision.
Yeah. I mean, there were a couple people from out of country that came here, and they got popped, they got arrested. But
It would be so much easier if you're an alien and you're here on this planet and you're within earshot of this interview tonight, just come with me to Disclosure Con and step out on the stage with me.
right,
Just make first contact. What do you say?
it'd be no better place. It would be the ultimate disclosure speaking engagement.
Perfect.
All right, so let's.
I personally guarantee you safe passage onto the stage and away from the facility. Nothing is going to happen to you.
There you go.
But the world will change.
But wouldn't it be wild if oh, and his name just slipped my mind. Who was back in the 50s and 60s? I think it started with a V. He looked like a tall guy in the 50s and 60s, but he worked for the Pentagon. They said he was an alien.
Huh.
What was his name? Do you know it?
No.
Oh gosh. Victor something. Anyway, it's in conspiracy theories. There's photos of this guy that was supposedly an alien who came to help our government.
It's the guy that spoke like 100 languages.
Yeah, that guy. Like it starts with a V, I think. I just couldn't think of it. Anyway, I digress. Brooks, thank you so much for another amazing interview, and I look forward to seeing you in less than 2 weeks. Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Yeah, and once again, everybody, disclosurecon.com. Check it out. X Square Radio, Sunday nights, and what other nights are you on again?
Well, I'm on Mondays and Wednesday
Oh,
nights,
sorry, Monday.
co-host for Matrix. I'm sorry, Quantum Connection.
You saw that, didn't you? Where it said Matrix.
No, I just Monique Lasan is a private investigator, and she's been on a big case. So I've been co-hosting her show on Wednesday nights after my regular show on Wednesday nights, and her website is or her show is called Matrix of Perception. And we had a really, really good September 11th special edition of that this year. So that's another program that's out there. So I've been on the air roughly 28 hours a month for a while.
There's that 28 again.
Yeah.
28 has been everywhere now. It's just like my magic number. Well, I told you I've been hanging around people with numerology. So like, well, thank you so much. I will call you here in just a bit. Okay. I'm
Okay.
going to say my good nights to everybody.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brooks Agnew. I'll talk to you in a bit.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye. All right. All right, folks. That was Brooks Agnew. I hope you all enjoyed the interview. Thank you for everybody that jumped on board, that commented. Uh, it's a better show when you guys are interacting. So I appreciate it tons. What else can I tell you? Anything. Thank you, Whispering Pines, for my hat and for being a major sponsor for Disclosure Con, as well as everybody else, Green Tree and Best Western Honda Casino, uh, just everybody. Thank you so much. Go to the website, check it out, check out the video. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna hit the end button. I'm done talking. Good night, everybody. Doc Skinner. I'm out. I'm gonna hit that button and then hit the end all. Chabella.